He joked every day, but his jokes were never innocent. They were knives dipped in biting sarcasm, especially aimed at anyone working online. And no one tasted this poison more than his brother Theodore. "You're selling air. People behind screens have no dignity. You'll end up broke." At family dinners, his voice was louder than the laughter, and Theodore barely spoke, as if his tongue locked every time Oliver started talking. But behind that deadly sarcasm, there was no confidence, only pain. Pain disguised as a joke. Years ago, Oliver was Theodore, an ambitious young man full of enthusiasm. He entered the world of network marketing, convinced his friends, poured all his savings, and built his dreams like a castle in the sky. Then, everything collapsed. He was scammed. He lost his money, and the same friends he inspired mocked him. From the ashes of the broken dream, he built his new armor, sarcasm. It wasn't a weapon of truth, but a mask hiding his fear of being called naive again. And the hardest part? He wasn't mocking the dreams. He was running away from them, because they came back to him as old nightmares. Years passed. He watched Theodore grow in silence, small wins, then his first freelance job, then a used car, then a small house. That house was a slap. One day he passed by it, curtains moving in a gentle breeze, the smell of fresh paint filling the air, and his heart whispered, "If you hadn't given up, this would have been yours." But the whisper didn't last. Another voice, harsher, said, "Or maybe you'd have failed again, been forgotten, and laughed at by everyone." And so, the wall remained, until it began to crack. His mother, sipping tea, quietly said, "Your brother helps me with his money and time, and you only give me words." At work, in front of everyone, the manager compared him to Theodore. The words weren't just a slap. They echoed inside him without end. He wanted to ask Theodore, "How did you succeed? How did you make it work?" But every time he pulled out a chair to sit with him, shame pulled the chair away. He wasn't just afraid to fail again. He was afraid to hear the echo of his past mocking him. One night, alone in his room, he opened an old video on his phone. A brighter young man, eyes shining with passion, explaining network marketing to his friends. A voice full of fire, a room full of hope. He hit delete and hesitated. He looked at the video one last time. Then the confirmation message appeared. He pressed, and he broke down. He cried for the first time in years. The next morning, he knocked on Theodore's door. His eyes swollen, voice trembling, he sat before his brother like a lost child. He whispered, "I never hated you. I was just protecting myself from you, from your success, from my truth." New tears gathered. "I wanted to ask you, how did you do it?" Many times. But every time I remembered my sarcasm and my laughter, I felt I didn't even deserve to ask. Theodore said nothing. He just stood up and hugged him. That hug wasn't just a response, it was a rescue from years of bitterness, pride, and unbreakable walls. Months passed, a small room, folding chairs, a projector, and Oliver standing before the screen. His first free workshop on freelancing online, holding the microphone. From the back, a young man laughs sarcastically. "So now it's a lecture on selling air." Oliver smiles quietly, looks into the young man's eyes and says, "I was like you. I thought sarcasm protected me, but it was my prison. Today, I stopped running from my past and started walking towards the truth." In the front row, a woman lifts her head, his mother. She smiles, eyes full of pride and happiness, not just for her son's success, but because he changed and was no longer the bitter man. In a corner of the room, a young man with wavy hair sits, once mocked by Oliver at a family gathering, and today came to learn from him. A circle closes, a life opens. The message: sometimes the loudest laughs echo the deepest wounds. Sarcasm isn't strength, it's a mask for shame, fear, and fallen dreams. Don't let your old failure imprison you. Don't let pride close the door to your future. Be honest, face yourself, and start again. What's next? Did Oliver's journey touch something inside you? Don't miss the next video. Imagine someone mocked you for selling tissues on the street, then ends up working for you. Humiliation turns into victory. Sarcasm becomes opportunity. Click on the next story and watch a transformation you'll never forget.